Hi, my name is Phoebe Sinclair, and I am the author of the new debut middle grade novel, Confessions of a Candy Snatcher, with illustrations by Theodore Taylor III. I would like to thank Baker and Taylor for inviting me to do a first chapter Friday, and also note that a signed copy of Confessions of a Candy Snatcher could be yours if you click the link in the comments and participate in the raffle. So, Jonas Adams Abraham is 12 years old. He is growing up on the Jersey Shore. He likes to hang with his friends. He likes to play video games. He likes to play games. And one of those things that he really enjoys and has done for a couple of years is candy snatching. What's candy snatching? It is when you go out on Halloween and instead of getting dressed up and hanging with your buddies and going door to door, you steal other kids' candy. So, in one of these experiences, Jonas ends up in a little bit more trouble than he anticipated, and he tries to stay out of getting caught, stay out of getting in too much trouble for what happens, but also finds himself thinking about his experience through writing for his friend's zine. So what I'm going to share with you today is the first zine in the book, which is, of course, illustrated by Theodore Taylor III. Let's go. Contrary to popular opinion. Contrary to popular opinion, I didn't keep all the candy for myself. Most of it I gave to Rex. I know Mikey sells his, probably back to the kids he stole it from in the first place. Snatching is something you do on Halloween if you're big enough. You don't hurt anybody, just get their candy. Then, once you've grabbed it, you run really fast. Most trick-or-treaters won't chase you because they're too scared. That's the other part of snatching, spooking. If you can't scare people, then you have no business being out there. The other great thing about snatching is that it's like games on top of games. It's a real competitive thing. For example, first person to snatch from a pirate gets dibs on the biggest piece of candy from the other snatcher's stash. Or, last person back to base has to run up to a house with a light on, ring the bell, and moon the front door. I learned how to snatch from my boy Mikey, who was all right at it. Mikey learned from his older brother, who was a pro and retired because now he's too old. Me, Mikey, Darius, and their other friend Aaron have been snatching since 6th grade. My conclusion is that snatching is a serious fun activity if you like to go out on Halloween, but don't want to mess with eggs or toilet paper and can't see you walking around like a schmo begging for candy. Plus, nobody ever gets hurt. Chapter 1. The Note. At 10-minute recess on Monday, me and the boys horsed around playing something Mikey Hill made up that was near impossible to win, like usual. Most of the 7th graders on the playground wore their thick jackets, and the girls huddled, watching while talking out the side of their mouths. A group of little kids nearby in the tot lot fussed, but nobody had their name called by the teacher 20 times, so I knew it wasn't my sister's 2nd grade class. Whap! A dull, multicolored super ball hit the pavement, then bounced high over our heads. Darius Delicious jumped to double throw a kickball at the receding super ball, looking sorry with his pudgy belly bouncing under his coat. From my seat on the low wall that separated the big kids from the little, I watched Mikey sneak looks over at the girls. The school behind us was a shadow. Some of the trees still wore orange and yellow and brown. the rest naked, probably wanting some snow at least to cover up with. "Miss," Mikey blurted, trying to make Darius fumble. Darius said, "Man," and cut his eyes at Mikey as he hustled to catch the bright red kickball before it rolled out towards the Tinker's parking lot. "You ain't even right," he grumbled. I couldn't say it mattered much, Mikey trying to psych him out. Darius is tons better at finishing his homework on time and not sharing the answers than at sports. Aaron, hanging with his skater crowd, snagged the ball as it rolled past. Matching in red and white down to his socks, with medium skin like mine, Aaron came over to bump fists with us, then patted his fade. Darius Delicious did the same with his fro, the two of them speaking some secret hair language. "My turn," I told Aaron as I slid from the wall and reached to take the kickball. Mikey looked at me. He said, "What? You gotta go before Double D." I looked right back, said, "Taking my second turn. Come on, teacher's about to call." "Nuh-uh, we've got 2 more minutes," said Mikey. Didn't check his phone, just pulled that number out of the air. I was pretty sure we had 5 minutes left in recess, so I ignored Mikey, who never wants anyone to win besides his own special self. I started to ask Darius for the super ball he held against his hip, but Aaron interrupted, saying, "Let me get a go." I sucked in my sigh. Aaron, too, was checking out Charity Odell and her crew, who had made like they had other things to do besides watch us. Obviously, they didn't, because they kept turning to stare and giggle. "So I bounced the little one and hit it with the big one?" Aaron asked. "Yeah, while they're in midair," Darius said, still puffing from jogging after the ball. "You gotta catch at least one." The super ball hit pavement again, louder. I glanced at the teacher, hoping she wouldn't notice us playing with a toy she could confiscate. School hates super balls, because kids like to throw them in the hallway just to see them bounce everywhere, off lockers, hitting girls. Both balls flew wild, and Mikey cackled. "What the F? What was that?" The teacher glared in our direction, snapped, "Language." Her breath puffed in the cold air as she shook her head and went back to checking messages on her phone. I shook my head too. Mikey's got a big mouth. I watched him, skinny and light, like the sun's always on him, thick cornrows braided by his sister. He had his eyes pasted on the ball, bouncing lower and slower, and Charity's crew had their eyes on him. I made sure to get to the Super Bowl before Mikey. "No, man, come on," Mikey complained after I won the race. "You took 2 turns already." "1," I corrected. "You can't count?" Because I half turned and faced the girls, they shouted, "Hey, Jonas." Someone calls your name, it's hard not to look. I spotted Charity Odell, pink puffy jacket, pink hat, pink and white high tops, smacking on gum like it was her job. I didn't bother to respond. Just turned back to the boys. The girls said in unison, "Ooh." One laughed. "No, he didn't just do that." No time left to waste. I braced myself, calculating distances and speed, stuff like that. "Uh-oh," I heard Aaron hoot. "Look at him. Jonas about to show us how it's done." "What's Jonas got to show?" Mikey sucked his teeth. I bounced the super ball hard. It shot way up. A colorful star, a comet, a satellite crossing the playground sky. Could barely see it, but I knew my kickball throw was good when the nubby rubber scraped away from my fingertips. Too good. In the collision, the super ball didn't gain altitude or lose. No, it whipped towards Charity's crew, who screamed and ducked, flew over them to hit this one kid reading by herself on the wall just at the edge of the lot. ball struck her temple with a thunk that probably everybody heard. Gideon Rao fell off the wall like a bottle of beer. "Oh crap," I said. And then the bell rang. Thank you.